this folding mattress that I was sent to test out. I am obsessed with this. This is 3 inches and it is so incredibly soft. This is so comfortable. I could definitely take a nap on here, sleep on here, no problem. My kids are obsessed with it and keep pulling it around to different rooms. They love to read on the floor, so they put this down, they sit on it, they read. They also prop it up like a couch. So let me show you. So they will fold it like this, and then they use it as like a little chair, couch, and they have a backrest. They'll put it against a wall. It is also machine washable. So these unzip, you can take out this foam and wash it in the washing machine if you need to. This is perfect for kids, for camping. If you're having a slumber party and having kids over, you could easily lay this out so that children are able to sleep on it. You could even take this to a dorm if you're in college. The uses are endless, but it is fantastic quality. I definitely recommend, if you are looking for a mattress that you can store and carry really easy, this is definitely it.
Hi there, my name is Janet and I was gifted this Lanlanen record player with external speakers in the color green. This is a really great record player with some awesome additional features. Here I am unboxing the product and it all arrived in very good condition. It comes with an instruction manual and all of the parts and pieces you will need to start listening to music right away. The 2 speakers are separable and the set can be arranged in several different configurations, which I really like and is a great feature if you need to place the player in a small area. Another really neat feature is that the record player has the 3-speed belt-driven turntable, which allows you to adjust the spin speed of the turntable to play in 33, 45, or 47 RPM as shown here. This comes in super handy as you can play different sized records all from this one player. There's also a protective auto stop function that you switch on here so the arm will not fall off when it reaches the edge of the record. And finally, there's a nice clasp that will hold the arm in place when not in use. One thing that I love about this player is how simple it is to use. You turn it on by twisting the knob and then turning the other knob to phono for playing records, aux if you want to connect your phone to the speaker through an aux cord, or you can switch it to Bluetooth and connect your phone or Bluetooth device and play music wirelessly, which is super convenient. Here I'll let you hear the music playing from the device, which I found to give off a really nice high quality sound. The product also includes a USB to PC cable so you can convert vinyl records into MP3 format music files using the Audacity app. I love this product's vintage look and it has a cute retro vibe and aesthetic that I love. I also think the green color is super classy and doesn't stand out too much while still having a really cool personality. Overall, if you're looking for a record player, I think this is a really great option and I would recommend it.
My name is Sam and this is my honest opinion on these full leg massagers with heat that I was sent to test out. I want to show you how easy they are to put on. So first what I did is I plugged this into an outlet over here, and now you can simply just slide your leg through, or another option is unvelcroing each section, because you're going to want to make it firm around each part of your body. So now that I have it on, I am going to tighten this around my calf. You want to make sure this is comfortable around your knee, and then also around your upper thigh. And being that it is firmly on, it's going to give that air compression a tighter squeeze and make it very comfortable. So now that I have this fully on, you're going to grab your control here, and on here you have power, mode, and heat. This automatically will work for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, it's going to shut off. You can continue if you want to afterwards. For modes, it has 3 modes, and Then you also have that heat setting. So let's turn it on so I can show you how it works. It has a screen on here. It's going to show you where that intensity level is. If you want to change the intensity, you have 3 levels of that as well, and you're able to do so. So what's happening right now is each section from your foot, your calf, your knee to your thigh is getting that air compression filled up in here. At the beginning, it just takes a few seconds to fully compress. And then once you feel all the air in there, you can choose the different massage modes. This is going to help so much. If you have any type of fatigue or you have anything going on with your legs or your feet, this just feels incredible. Also, having that heat option is going to give it another layer of therapy to just help you so much more. So this is working right now. It's showing me exactly where all of these settings are going. I'm going to change the mode. So you can do pressing, kneading, you can do a shiatsu massage, just depending on what your focus is. This feels so incredible. So what it's doing right now with all of this air pushing through is it is tightening on each part of my body, and it just feels incredible. What's great about this is you can use it whether you are someone who is more petite or larger. Because of this Velcro, it is adjustable and can be for many different body types. I recommend if you are in need of a massage or any type of therapy, this feels so good.
Hi guys, I wanted to review my vibration plate. I bought this a couple months ago and I use it every single day. What I loved about it is when I got it, it was very easy to assemble. It came with step-by-step instructions. It has a power source and then it plugs into the board. You flip a switch on the back, you hit power, play, and then you can adjust the speed high and low. What I like about this is it starts off on level 1, so you're not getting on while it's at 100 and being jolted around. I put mine by the wall so I'd have something to kind of hold on to. What I also like is it came with this remote, so you can be standing up, have your balance about you, and then turn the board on. What's down here is also on this remote. It came with exercise equipment and instructions on how to use the exercise equipment and exercises you can do. I highly recommend this purchase. 10 out of 10.
Hey, what's going on guys? John here, and today I'm actually going to do a video review of the Bestisan subwoofer. So in this video, I'm actually going to cover the instruction manual, we'll take a look at the subwoofer itself, we're going to do a music demo, and then I'll just give you my overall thoughts. So let's first start with the subwoofer itself. This isn't particularly a large subwoofer, but it actually hits pretty good, and I find that so far from my testing, I've been very happy with it. Just as a comparison here, it's sitting next to a little clipped bookshelf speaker, so you know, not overly large, but still good enough to provide some nice bass. You do have a fairly good size length power cord. This has a larger brick that you can see I've got plugged in over here. On the back side, I'm just going to flip this around just so you can see all the different connection options and different things that you can set here. This is the main cone woofer here in the back. And then you actually have basically your volume of the subwoofer. You've got a power button here. And then you also have this low pass option here. So I'll get to what that is here in a bit when we go over the manual. You then have your line in, and then you can also utilize the typical RCA jack. So depending on your connectivity method, I'm simply just doing an RCA cable into the back of this Onkyo receiver, going into the line in port for the subwoofer. And then you also have this phase option. So again, I'll explain that when we get to the manual, and then you've got your power. So I'm going to go ahead first and we'll do just a little demo. In fact, I'll just kind of leave this here as is. I have some metal music and volume probably about a little over half. We can turn the volume up a little. It's probably about 75% there. All right, so it gives you some idea there, playing a little bit of metal music. Overall, you know, I can definitely feel the bass. In most circumstances, you'll probably have something like this on the floor, but this is kind of a custom setup I have out here in my garage where I'm utilizing this. But let's go through the manual. So in the box, you actually get several things. Obviously, this guide, your power, and then you do have a stereo RCA to a 3.5 millimeter, just typical aux. It does go through and explain everything here in the back, which we already did. it shows you various connectivity methods. So basically I'm using the subwoofer cable method, which is not supplied, but again, I just used a typical RCA cable. It explains utilizing the sub out, and then it does show other connectivity options here. So you could use, like, for example, a subwoofer, or if you wanted to use this provided cable, you could go directly into a laptop, use the laptop speakers, and then have some bass if you wanted to go that option. So they show you all the different connectivity methods. Now, in terms of some of the other adjustments and some of the things here, you do have options here. It's going to automatically turn on and off, so it goes over all that. You have your main volume, pretty straightforward, sort of the adjustment for deep, powerful bass without the boomness. And then they have this low pass. So this will actually control the frequency range at which the subwoofer operates. It says when using smaller speakers, the upper range of the control will probably yield the best results. With larger speakers, the lower end will probably sound best. Always let your ear be the final judge. So it says, you know, vocals sound thin, turn this up, but maybe, you know, you can kind of play with that. So that's basically, I believe that is the low pass is actually this dial here. So you can kind of mess with that. And then you also have that phase switch, which is this switch down here. You have, it says here, sit in your favorite listening position, play music, not a movie, with a walking bass line. We recommend jazz or country. Now listen carefully for the point at which the subwoofer transitions to your main speakers. This is the crossover point, and this point should be below the frequency of a male human voice. Whenever phase setting sounds louder or fuller at the subwoofer's crossover transition point is the optimum setting. Sometimes no difference will be heard. So this is obviously going to be dependent on what it is that you're listening to. You know, typically I'm either playing games, like I have racing stuff here on this TV, or video games, VR, things like that. That's what I'm kind of using this setup for. So may or may not affect some of that, but you can kind of play around with these settings. But overall, I found the quality of this to be actually really good. You have a lot of different settings here that typically I haven't even seen with some higher end subwoofers that I've used. I have a Sony one in the other room, and that doesn't even have all of these settings that you can kind of mess with to get more of an optimal sound depending on your preferences. So overall, I think if you're looking for just a nice standard subwoofer setup, this definitely would be a good way to go. It was very easy to get up and running and just simply connect it to my receiver and get some nice extra added bass. Anyway, thanks for checking out my video review, and hopefully you found this helpful.
Hey, what's going on, guys? John here, and today I wanted to do a video review for the Crosley Corner TV stand. In this video, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the assembly, really go over all the functionality of this, and just give you a full walkthrough to give you some idea of what to expect. So I just finished assembling this, and it actually isn't in its final location, but I wanted to show it here because I have some nice lighting here, so I thought I would take a minute to kind of walk you through everything. Now, first off, in terms of installation, I was able to do this just by myself as one person. There were maybe a couple areas, such as when I put the actual top piece on, it may have been nice to have an extra hand, but it wasn't required. In terms of assembly, they basically have you build the entire center of the frame initially. Then you attach the base here along the bottom. And then eventually you kind of add on all the extra pieces that attached where all the drawers are going to go. You then attach the top, and then you basically build and assemble all the drawers. There's 2 of these drawers, and then you have all 4 of these doors. One thing I really liked about the assembly of this, which I thought was really smart, is there's pre-drilled holes on the top and the bottom for the doors, and the ones on the top can actually go inside of the doors. So you basically kind of slide them in at an angle. You have a few configuration options for the shelves here. You can see you can go with either a high location for the shelf, a middle, or the lowest setting. So whatever you choose here, if you want to have like game consoles, TV set boxes, anything like that here, you can easily place them. More than enough room. And then these do have little magnets that are installed at the top, so that way the doors aren't going to come open. You have these nice drawers, which actually add some really nice extra bonus storage if you want to put remotes or anything like that. You have this middle compartment, which is great, and then you also have a hole pre-drilled here in the back for all of your wires. You also have this large shelf here in the middle. Same thing, you can configure these however you want. And then there's a middle hole as well as a bottom hole for all of your wires for any of your consoles. This basically has tempered glass right in the center on the 2 main front doors, but additionally you've got another over here, and then you also have another drawer up on this side. So overall, this is a really nice set. It does have almost like a like weathered look going throughout all of the front of the drawers. It kind of has like these pre-made little nicks to almost give it like an effect, like it's just something that's been used, which I think is actually really cool. It gives it like some nice character. And then the wood top just looks absolutely amazing. As you can see on the corners here, The idea is that if you put this into a corner of a wall, you have these pieces that go along each side on the edges. So essentially this is going to allow you to move this into the corner, and you could mount probably like a 60 or even 65-inch TV on this without any problems. So I'm very happy with this. One thing I may have changed would have been waiting to assemble it in the location where it's going to be going, but I just really wanted to get it built, so I decided to do that here. And you're definitely going to have to be moving this with a second person because it is very, very heavy. Anyway, thanks for taking the time to watch the video review. Hopefully you found it helpful, and I'll talk to you later.
Hi guys, I wanted to review this Breville because when I was in the market looking for a coffee maker, I didn't know where to look and I didn't know what to do, and there's so many options out there. So what I loved about this one, it was very easy to assemble. You just follow the step-by-step. There's tabs in here that helps you go through kind of where you can't mess it up. When it's time for you to make your delicious cup of coffee in the morning, you will have your beans here. You will select the type of coffee that you want here, and then it'll instruct you how to make that specific cup of coffee that you would like to drink. Between grinding the beans, putting this here, it brews into your coffee. You're able to really explore your barista skills by putting anything you want in this cup, like flavoring. Go ahead and steam that milk, and boom, you have a perfect latte, or whatever your heart desires. This will be 100% a Christmas present to my mom. Highly recommend to friends and family. Trusted. Thank you guys.
Hey, what's going on guys? John here, and today we're actually going to be doing an unboxing and review of the Xsense Smart Security Camera, specifically the model SSC0A. So in this video, what I'm going to do is just walk you through some of the functions of the camera. We'll look at all the components it came with, and then I'm also going to show you the mobile app so you have some idea of what to expect when you actually set the camera up. So I've already taken most of the stuff out of the box. I essentially set the camera up, but I want to show you all the different things that it actually comes with. So you have basically your mounting plate here. You're both going to have a mounting plate for the solar panel this includes, as well as the camera itself. So I believe this one is actually for the solar panel, and then you also have an additional mounting plate which is white for the camera. Essentially, this can basically be loosened and moved so that you can kind of maneuver this as needed. This will allow you to mount this up onto a wall or somewhere like out on your property. You have all the screws and the washers here. This is the camera itself, so basically you have a thread here in the back for mounting. It also includes, as I mentioned, a solar panel. So I'm just actually opening this for the first time, but pretty standard. It's a good size panel. You can see again it also has a thread here, so you can take this kit and mount this in a separate location. The wire that's included here is quite long, so you have plenty of options here in terms of charging this. Additionally, if you did not want to use the solar panel, you can actually plug this in via direct power, and they do include a USB-C cable, which you could just plug into like a standard USB-C power brick or just USB-C power. On the bottom here, you can see that this is basically where it all connects. So you do have a slot on the back that you could utilize for like a small micro SD card if you want to have storage on this and have it basically, you know, keep the video feeds on storage for you. You can access it through that card. Additionally, on the front, you have basically your camera here, and then this is essentially the motion sensor, and then there's an audible light here. It has the Xsense branding here on the side, and then this is basically the speaker here on the back. It does have a little QR code here for setup and everything. It was very, very easy to do. I went ahead and actually set this up, and I'll just kind of point it across my room, and I'm going to show you what this looks like in the app. So I actually have several Xsense products. I have some of their like smoke alarms and things like that, which are Wi-Fi. So I'm able to control both of those already in the app, but I additionally was able to add the new smart camera. So it shows me the battery life. We have all of our different settings here, what Wi-Fi we're connected to, our sleep settings, motion detection, firmware updates, SD card management, like lighting settings, so we could do different things here like night vision, sensitivity. You've also got auto power settings. You've got audio settings, so you could kind of increase or decrease volume. There's a subscription service which essentially allows you to get smart push notifications. You can set up these activity zones, and they do offer a trial on that, so it's kind of optional, but more or less this is actually going to work pretty well. If we jump back here, you can actually see the feed is live, and if I hit start, this basically will give me a little camera feed here. I can choose to stop this at any time. I can record short clips. I can take screenshots. I can turn the sound on. I can do an audible alarm. We'll actually test that out here. So there it is there. And then it shuts off. You can turn on a white light, so that'll make it really bright if it's at night, and you can also talk through it. If you want, you can also blow up the feed here. So this is kind of just, it's obviously turned sideways, but if we take the camera here, this is basically the rest of my office here where I'm sitting. So it's pretty cool. The camera quality is very, very good. And I did get a chance to test this out with night vision, and it worked extremely well. Of course, you can do all your notifications and things like that. So if there is motion, it will just ping you through the app. So ultimately, I think this is something that if you're looking to get a solar-powered security camera, you want the capability of that extra SD card for storage, this definitely is a good bet, even without paying for all the extra subscription stuff. It will save all of your files and everything for well up to beyond 24 hours. So usually if there was an issue, you'll have plenty of time to review it. Overall, I'm very happy with this kit. Very straightforward, very easy to set up. The app is not clunky or anything like that. It was super simple to get going. So I would recommend, if you're planning on getting a security camera system and you do want a solar powered one, this definitely would be one worth considering. Anyway, thanks for checking out my video review. I hope you found this helpful, and I'll talk to you later. Hey, what's going on, guys? John here. Today I'm actually going to be doing an unboxing and demo of the Armo Gear Laser Battle laser tag set. So this is actually a pretty slick set. This is designed for ages 8 and up. Basically, you have 4 different laser guns, and then you've also got the vests that are included here, you can see in the photo. This basically has different playing modes as well. You can do the receiver on for guns only, or receiver off for both the gun and the vest. Here's some stats on them. They have 150 feet range. They have a flashlight, invisible mode, human voice, vibration. You could do up to 2 hours on a single charge, 4 different modes, and then 4 different team modes. On the back here, it kind of goes over some of the different options with them. Let's go ahead and actually open these up. You can even change these between like pistol, shotgun, submachine gun, rocket. So pretty cool, bunch of different options here. Let's go ahead and open this up, and you guys can get some idea of what these look like, and maybe we can, depending on what's needed here, get some of these set up. So I'll just open up one of these, but they are all in different colors. So actually has some pretty good weight to it. You know, this is something that I found, you know, if you're using something like this, it's obviously good to have something that feels somewhat realistic. Here you can see this is basically where the laser comes out on the end. It has a little screw here that you open this for batteries, so we probably won't be able to do a full demo of it. You do have basically your options here to turn the receiver on or off. So this basically is just a little flip switch there. And then let's go ahead and open this up. We can take a look at one of the vests. So this has straps that you can just put it around, and there's actually, this is 2 of them. So we'll just open up one of them. You can see the colors all match, so obviously green to green, orange to orange. This basically turns it on or off. You have your volume. It just has a little bit of protective tape here that can be removed. We'll just take this off for the sensor. And this is pretty straightforward, so this will go right around your neck, and then you can actually bring this loop around, and this has like a clasp here that just fits in and then goes into the divot there. Pretty straightforward otherwise. Again, you have a battery pack on the back. Here is basically the instruction manual, so let's open this up and we can get some idea of some of the different options, expected play modes, things like that. So this goes through, it says you need 3 AA batteries for each. It talks you through basically wearing the vest and how to set that up. It gives you ideas of like different modes. So you have preloaded shots depending on which mode you go with, and then the lives that it takes per shot. It gives you ideas of like how to use it. So you want to make sure you have the light on, the receiver on, and then there's a reload button, which is number 7. So that's essentially this bottom piece here is actually the reload. So this is your reload here just by tapping this. Let's see, goes through using the vest, and then it talks about the different modes, like wiping out a team based on shooting the target, different instructions, and it just goes through all the different modes as well as volume controls. So it's actually pretty straightforward. Pretty much with this, I would imagine it's going to be fairly straightforward. You open this cap and then you just have your 3 batteries here on the bottom. So pretty straightforward set. I like the fact that it comes with, you have the green, and then you've also got, this looks like red and blue, and then you have your red and blue guns as well. So all very distinct colors. Pretty cool game if you want to go out in the yard, play this either in the woods or in the backyard, something like that. I remember even as a kid, I ran around, it was like an abandoned office building on the weekend on like a Saturday, no one was working, so me and a friend ran all around the office building playing laser tag, and I remember it was probably one of the most fun times I ever had, as well as a kid going and actually playing laser tag in the 90s, doing this at some places. So it's kind of cool. I wanted to get this for my daughter and have her be able to experience the same thing as she, you know, grows up and has the chance to kind of experience these same fun things. So anyway, thanks for checking out my video review. Hopefully you found this helpful, and I will talk to you later. Hey, what's going on, guys? John here, and today I wanted to do a video review for the Klipsch R52C center speaker. In this video, I'll just kind of walk you through my home theater setup. We'll take a look at the actual speaker itself, and then we'll do a little sound demo as well. So first off, this is a fairly good sized center speaker. I also have one from the Sony lineup, and it's probably a little bit smaller than this. We basically have a large TV console here, and I'm utilizing these Klipsch tower speakers along with the Klipsch subwoofer on the right side. I'm overall fairly happy with this, so the footprint of it isn't too bad. I still have plenty of space up here on this particular cabinet. On the front side, you have these removable plates, so if you wanted to, you could kind of go with their like gold bronze theme, or you could go with the more subtle look. These basically are just magnets that go right onto the front. On the back side, it's fairly standard. You just have your speaker connections. I'm using these banana plugs with custom run speaker wire that I have going right into my receiver. Pretty much what I decided to do with this setup is I believe this would more or less be considered like a 7.1 type setup, because we have the single subwoofer, and then I'm utilizing the Dolby up-firing speakers with the fronts, and I've also got these rear bookshelf speakers that I hung, just due to the way the layout is back here. I was able to hang both of these for my surround. So I've got this matched with a Denon receiver. This is a higher end receiver. I recommend utilizing something like this, and with your center speaker, this is really where you're going to get the majority of like your vocals from your movies and a lot of your audio. I'll do a little demo here. I'm just going to movie up with an action scene. I'm going to skip this forward to one of the driving scenes.
Oh shit. Two black Suburbans coming your way. 6, fake them out. I'm coming to you.
So yeah, the sound, a lot of the impact and everything from, you know, what you're getting out of this full setup is just absolutely amazing. This isn't a huge room, but overall I'm very happy with the sound and everything I was able to do with this full configuration. So I do recommend, you know, if you're really looking to make the most out of your home theater setup, a center speaker is going to help really complete the audio setup. Anyway, thanks for checking out my video review. Hopefully you found this helpful, and I'll talk to you later. Hey, what's going on guys? John here, and today I'm actually going to be doing a video review of the Litoque soundbar. So in this video, I'm actually going to walk you through all the accessories of the soundbar. We'll take a look at some of the options. We're going to do a demo with some music, and just really go through everything, and I'll give you my overall thoughts here at the end. So let's first start with the soundbar itself. We'll take a look at the manual, the subwoofer, and just really go through, again, all of this. So this is a very small form factor subwoofer. Just as an example here of size, I have a mid-tower computer here that I hook this up to, and I just have it resting right on the top. So in terms of length, it's about the size of like a standard console. So if you're looking for something small form factor, this definitely would be a good bet. On the top here, you have different indicators that basically show the mode that it's in. Right now it's in aux. So you can see we have a yellow light here. So there's no LED display, but it's easy to switch between all of these using the remote. On the back, we have several different connectivity options. You do have two small feet here as well, but you have the HDMI ARC, your sub out, you have an optical port, an aux, USB, and then you've got your DC for your power. You also have these two small holes here you can use for mounting if you want to wall mount this. But again, you don't have to do that. So overall, what I did for this setup is I actually plugged this in with the aux port, and I have it just going directly into the sound card on the back of my computer. It does include an aux cable as well as an optical cable. And then you also have this small remote. So this basically has settings for treble, bass, music, movie, dialogue, modes. You've got your volume up and down, play, pause, you can do mute. And then you also can switch between all the different modes. This does have Bluetooth, the optical, the USB mode, aux. You could reset or switch to the HDMI ARC. So gonna work pretty straightforward. Here's the subwoofer. It's pretty standard, I'd say, for like a subwoofer that would come with a soundbar. I've used many different soundbars over the years, and this one is fairly standard. You've got your woofer cone here in the back, and then the actual sub output here. This just has the single cord that comes through the back and then plugs into the soundbar. Here is the optical cable that they included, so it was really nice that they included these cables. You do also have some mounting screws as well as the drywall screws if you want to mount this. In terms of all the controls here, this just kind of goes over everything on the remote, which we already did. You can also manually adjust settings on the side of the soundbar. So if we come up here, you also have, I believe it's on the right side, you have your power button here, and then you can change the volume manually or any of the inputs. So you don't have to necessarily use the remote to do that. Now beyond that, you actually have many different connectivity options, and they kind of go through all of those and give you some idea of what to expect here, different examples of those, and obviously the illumination to kind of match that. And then it just shows you connecting the sound bar. So pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and do a little demo. I have a YouTube video up here of Godsmack, which I actually saw them live last night in concert. So I figured, hey, why not play one of their older songs? So let's give it a go. We'll turn it up a little bit. This has really good bass in this song, so I thought it'd be a really good example. We'll turn the bass up a little bit too. So I'm very impressed with the sound output of this little sound bar. This thing actually kicks, and this particular song, I muted it, but this particular song has a lot of really good bass in it, and you know, me just standing on the floor, I could feel the bass coming out of this thing. So I think if you're looking for something in a small package that can produce really good sound out of this little tiny sound bar, honestly, I'm very impressed with it. Another really cool use case for something like this that I'm actually going to be using it for, and one of the reasons I wanted this, is I'm going to be building a custom arcade. And an arcade obviously is very small, like you can see I have a few of them here. This literally, if I wanted to, you know, install the soundbar in the back of this arcade, it would work perfectly for this as a replacement to the tiny speakers that originally came in it. So if you wanted something more powerful, for something like that, like a custom build, this is actually going to work perfect for something like that as well. So just kind of thinking outside the box with your use cases. Anyway, thanks for checking out my video review. Hopefully you found it helpful, and I'll talk to you later.
This is the Medea 12,000 BTU window AC, and bottom line, I'm really happy with it. I would buy this exact model again if I needed another one. But you're probably here for the details, so let me start with what I don't like about it, and then I'll explain why I don't think any of that stuff matters. First off, it is just as fiddly to install as all the comments say it is. The directions aren't the clearest, and all the components are named similar things, so they're easy to confuse. But Medea has an installation video that's linked in their instruction book, and it's actually much more helpful than their written instructions. Now, because I just grabbed tools as I needed them and didn't watch the video before I installed it, I was kind of confused, and it took me about 2 hours to get everything set up. Things probably would have gone a lot smoother if I'd just watched the install video, so you should. I wish I had. Another thing is that my window is 33 inches wide. The unit says it can fit up to a 36-inch window, but I really think if your window is any wider than about 30 inches, you're probably going to run out of the included ceiling foam. There's just not enough of it to physically do what they tell you to in the directions. But I just got some extra foam from the hardware store, and I'm right as rain. It's inconvenient, but ultimately it's worth it. The mounting bracket that the AC sits on also sticks out further than the unit needs. It's not really an issue for me, but you might not like it. And finally, there is no way to dim the LED panel from the unit controls. That doesn't really bother me, but my wife swears she can see it through her eyelids when she's trying to sleep. If it's an issue for you, you can turn the LEDs off using the remote control or from a mobile app that you can download. That will allow you to control everything else on the unit as well. So that's it. That is all I can find bad to say about this unit. So now on to the good stuff. The biggest difference in this unit is probably the most apparent, and it's that it has a split compressor and inverter, and the window actually comes down through the middle of the unit between the two. This goes a long way towards reducing noise. On the low setting, you can barely hear this thing from just a few feet away. In fact, it's been on low for this entire video, and you probably didn't even notice. It also makes the air gap underneath the window pretty small as well, to about 4 inches. So you have reduced heating and cooling loss compared to what you'd find on a standard unit. Beyond that, it's packed with features. It's super energy efficient. It has multiple fan settings. It has multiple modes. You can set it on a timer to have it automatically cut on or off. It has a sleep feature. It has an ionizer built in that you can activate. There's a swing button that'll activate an outlet louver that'll oscillate up and down, moving the air around in your room. You can adjust the AC from 60 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit, or you can also set it in Celsius if that's more your thing. And to top it all off, you can control all these features from a remote control or from an app on your cell phone that can also integrate it into other smart features of your home. So yeah, all in all, awesome buy, and we'll definitely get another one of these if I ever need one in other rooms of our house.
My name is Sam, and this is my honest opinion on this ProScenic F10 wet-dry vacuum combo that I was sent to test out. I am obsessed with vacuums. I have so many, from robot vacuums to wet-dry to regular, and I have been through all of them. And I have dogs, 2 small children, and just a very busy household that I'm trying to keep clean. So I want to tell you how this works, how it compares, and how it functions. So let's jump into it. First thing is, it has 2 different reservoirs on it. The front one, this is going to be for all your debris and dirty water. And then in the back right here, you have a spot for all of your clean water. You can see I just used some. I'm going to need to refill it, but I'm going to show you how to do that. And then you also have your roller. And what's great about this is when you are using a wet-dry combo, you always want to take out your roller so that it doesn't create any odors. And it has a spot actually to store it, which is really unique. So you have your roller right here, and then you also have this brush to clean out your dirty reservoir, and you can store it here to dry. And then this is also your front top piece over your roller that can dry as well. So let's put it together real quick. All you're going to do is slide this roller on and lock it into place. That easy. You're going to take your front piece and set this on as well until it locks in, which it did. And now we're going to use it, and I'm going to show you how it works.
Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna fill up our water reservoir. You can see I have a little bit left from last time. You can keep it. I'm just gonna dump it out to make it simple and start over with fresh water and also to mix this cleaning solution. So this is a 1 to 100 ratio. So pretty much just put a cap full in versus filling the rest with water and you'll be good. So what I'm gonna do is pour this into the cap. And it doesn't have a strong odor to it. It just smells really clean. Now I'm gonna pour that straight into the hole here and then fill this up with water. And you're gonna fill it up to the max fill line and I'll show you where that is as well. So then to close it, you're just gonna push it in. And as you can see, I did it right under this max fill line, but you just have to make sure it is under that. And now let's go put this into our vacuum. Okay, so the vacuum has been charging. I have it plugged into the wall right here. And as you can see, it's stored right in its base. It looks so nice that I just keep it in our bedroom. We live in a 3-story house, so it's so nice having this at the top level and I don't have to haul it back and forth from the garage. So I would definitely leave it out. It looks great. So let's just put the reservoir back in. Okay, and now tells you when it's charging. Now we're gonna take this out. I'm gonna bring it up here so you can see that it has this display screen. So when you first turn it on, it is gonna put it in the smart mode, which is going to vacuum and mop. Then you can also do more of an intense scrub. That's gonna put it in the power mode. And then also you could just do a suction mode if you have cereal or coffee on the floor and you just need that powerful suction, you can put it in that mode as well. So let me show you. First off, what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn it on. You can see right on the top here, it's gonna tell you what the battery life is. So right now we're at 99%. And now that we're at the 99%, we're gonna start vacuuming. This has crazy power and it's self-propelling. So it is literally, I barely have any fingers and it is pushing itself. It's just so nice. Now I'm gonna change the mode. You can probably hear it's getting a lot more intense. This is great if you need that powerful suction, if you need it to really scrub, if you have marks on your floor. Okay, now that I just finished, I'm gonna put it back on its base here to start the self-cleaning function to clean out that brush roll. Charging. You can see right away it's gonna start charging this, which is great. And then right on the top of the handle, right here, you're gonna press this button. I'm gonna show you how it cleans. So now that it's finished its self-clean mode, let's take it apart. All you're gonna do is push these buttons, pull this off. What I do is I wipe this out because I have dogs and I shed a lot. You're gonna get hair in here. Just wipe this out with a paper towel, then you're gonna let it dry. And then same thing with your brush. You are just gonna pull it out on the side here, pull it through, and I wanna show you how much hair this picks up. Like I said, I'm a shedder. Look at that. Crazy. So I just throw that in the trash. As you can see, your roll is clean as can be. So you're just gonna set this right here to dry. And now let's empty out this tank. Okay, so right here, we're just gonna pull off this filter on the top. Now I am going to pull off the cap, and you can put this water down the toilet, you can throw it outside, wherever you want, but let me show you. Wow, this is crazy. So in here you have this catcher first off. This is gonna collect all your hair and your larger debris. I simply just throw this in the trash, and then in here, you can see all that disgusting dirty water. We're gonna go throw that away. And then also you have this brush. So when you're done, you just take this, you can get down into the center here to really clean all of this out and make sure it's clean. You put it back together and it's gonna charge and you're good to go for next time. In recap, this ProScenic F10 wet dry vacuum is incredible. Like I mentioned, I have used so many different brands. This one works fantastic. I just love how small and simple and easy it is to use. And with the voice commands, it lets you know what to do, what it's doing. And just the power on it is fantastic. And the self-cleaning feature is the best I've seen. That brush looks perfectly clean and is ready for the next use. I definitely recommend if you are looking for a wet dry vacuum, this is the one you need to get.
My name is Sam and this is my honest opinion on this 12-foot Dami patio umbrella that I was sent to test out. They also sent me this base for the umbrella, but there are multiple ways that you can install it. I'm going to show you the installation process with my husband and how simple it was. This giant cantilever umbrella was well packaged and the instructions were easy to read. First, you are going to install this base and you have to put in the necessary screws. This is what the umbrella is going to sit in. As a reminder, this base is weighted and not included with the umbrella, but can be purchased separately, or you can install it straight into the ground. For this base, we opened it up and filled it up with water on each side so that it would be able to hold up the umbrella. Even when you have it filled up with water, it is on wheels, so you are able to wheel it around if you want to move it to a different spot in your yard. We were impressed with how well packaged the umbrella is and how easy it was to install. We slid it over the mounted base and slid it through the bottom cover and it was all set. Next, we began removing all of the plastic and packaging on it. It is so well protected, and all of the ribs inside of the umbrella have foam around them to protect them in the transportation process. My husband and I used teamwork and removed all of the foam, and then it was time to open it up. Once you install it, you're able to move it up to multiple positions. There are actually 6 tilt positions you can choose from, and it is so incredible that this umbrella can actually move 360 degrees, so you can move it covering your furniture, a pool, and just depending on where the sun is located, you can move it very easily to cover you. You can see that this 12-foot round umbrella features a unique double top canopy and wood grain design, making it perfect for both commercial and residential settings. The double layer roof promotes airflow and stability, while the heavy-duty construction and wind resistance is up to 30 miles per hour to ensure durability. The included cover is very easy to install and also comes with the pole that you can see we're using to slip on the umbrella. It also has a drawstring at the bottom to keep it secure from all of the weather elements. Speaking of the fabric, it is made from 250 grams per square meter yarn that is dyed polyester fabric with a PA coating. This is UV resistant, water repellent, and color fast. The aluminum ribs in the umbrella are individually detachable, which makes easy maintenance. As you can see with this umbrella, you're able to enjoy optimal sun coverage, and we are obsessed with how beautiful it looks. Regarding the base that we received, you can see it's very easy to fill it up with water, and when you want to drain it, all that you do is twist the sides and you can drain the water out as well. I am obsessed that the frame of this looks like it is wood, even though it is aluminum, so that this is going to be durable and last a very long time. It is beautiful and so well made. Overall, this umbrella looks beautiful near our pool, and I would definitely recommend to purchase it.
Plug it in, add ice, push down the cover, add the syrup, and enjoy that sweet, sweet snow cone. I mean, snow cone, shave ice, whatever. Anyway, I'm happy with this machine. The only bad thing about it is that when it's working, this thing is loud. I mean, uncomfortably loud. Outside, it might not be so bad, but inside, I have to brace myself for it. My microphone just doesn't do the noise justice, but it sounds kind of like a mini rock tumbler. But even with that, I love this thing and use it several times a week throughout the summer. I've had it for a few years now, and it still works great. It's easy to clean. I like that I can hang the little drip tray over the side of the sink, and it doesn't make a mess on the counter. And being able to use bagged ice is huge. I have a commercial machine and almost never use it because this one is just as good and way more convenient. And their flavors are pretty good too. I highly recommend this.
Hey, what's going on guys? John here. Today I wanted to do a video review for the Yahi Tech folding outdoor chair. In this video, I'll just kind of go over some of the features of this, give you some idea of what to expect, and we'll just go through everything. So first off, this is a really high quality chair. The first thing I noticed with this is that it's fairly easy to fold. You have this bonus, this is almost like a large pillow that you can put over it, very nice extra padding that you could put on this. It's completely optional, so if you decide to remove this, you can see it just has sort of like a standard large piece here that just goes throughout that's stitched into this. If you decide that you want to tie this down, you actually have these little ribbons here and you can just tie them to the poles so that way it doesn't move. I put the included pillow here behind this, and that way it doesn't slip as it is now. And if I want to remove it, I still can. You have this foam pad that you can actually put at the bottom, so it kind of gives a nice footrest. You've additionally got this side piece here that you can use for 2 drinks. You have a spot here for a cell phone, and then you could put something larger here like a tablet. This is also removable, so this just kind of clips onto the 2 bars here. All of the base on this, as you can see, is very thick, so this just has large plastic pieces that surround on all sides, so this isn't going to tip or tumble over very easily even as you're climbing into it. You pretty much have one main spot in terms of its adjustability. So this is the normal kind of fully extended position. You're not going to be able to like recline it back further or recline it forward without technically starting to kind of fold it up. So that's one thing I wanted you to bear in mind. You do have these large armrests here, which are actually quite nice. So they give you some nice room there. And then you have a locking mechanism, which are these large red pieces here. These actually just flip up if you want to either lock or unlock this for folding. So when it comes time to fold this, you will have to remove the pillow here. It will kind of fold with it, but it's not going to completely fold up. Very easy. You simply just pull up on this, and as you can see, this folded right up. So I will have to, again, like I said, remove this to completely fold it, but you could even still transport it like this. It'll just end up taking up a little bit more space. Now, if you want to fold it back, you can see I'm even doing this with one hand. I'm using my foot as some leverage here on the left, and I can kind of get this to pretty much go back to its normal position if I use my foot there and pull. So it comes apart and folds together fairly easily. One last thing I wanted to mention was you have this strap here, and you can actually use this as an add-on to strap around this once it's folded, and then you could put this over your shoulder and you could carry the whole chair with you. So definitely very beneficial, especially if you're going to like the beach or something and you're holding other things, you got kids with you, anything like that. Definitely going to be nice. So overall, very happy with this chair, and I think if you're looking for something like this, I highly recommend checking it out. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found this helpful. Hey, what's going on, guys? John here, and today I wanted to do a video review and demo of the Denbig dehumidifier. In this video, I'll just kind of walk you through the manual as well as all the different functionality with this, and I'll just kind of give you a couple use cases depending on your scenario as well. So first off, this does have a fairly good length power cord. You have a little piece here in the back, these two little brackets that you can use to wrap the cord if need be. I was able to plug it in up here at an outlet without any issues. And then you have all of your main options up here. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit power. You can see we have a set here for the actual humidity level. It's gonna tell us what the humidity currently is, and then we can specifically set it in here. It's currently winter time, so at the time of recording this, probably won't really need to run this a whole lot in this particular space, but I did wanna walk you through all the features of it, of course. First off, you have your fan speed, so you can go between either quiet, high, or low. So if I go up to like any of these, it'll basically rotate any of the modes. I can actually see here, I'm gonna just see if I can get this, because the humidity is so low in here, I'm probably not gonna be able to get this to kick up, but ultimately we have a filter button here. This will highlight specifically when you need the filter to be changed. You also have this Mirage button. This basically will allow you, I believe, this can either turn on or off this front display. So it's kind of nice that in addition to the display you have on the top, if you want, you can actually get the humidity level showing right on the front of the unit. So I thought this was actually pretty sleek. Then you obviously have these different modes. So if you hit mode here, you can do a sleeping space, it recommends 55, a living space at 50, a basement at 45, and then you can also run this on continuous mode. So I can't actually run the fan with continuous on since it's just gonna run no matter what. If we change our fan speed, this is currently the quiet mode. It's not particularly too loud. If you have this in a space like a basement, which I'd say is going to be the most common, it's almost like, you know, very marginal. Let's go up to the low mode. So that definitely kicks up a little bit more, a little more noticeable. And then that's the high. So that's, again, pretty aggressive. So this would really help with humidity. So I'd say for what it is, you know, if I had this set as quiet, it's in a basement area, really not going to bother me too much. You know, you could still easily watch TV, do something like that. Additionally, you have a timer setting here, so you can do timer, and you can do this in 30-minute increments or either 1-hour increments as well. So you can set the increment amount, and then if you hit the timer again, this will basically allow you to set how long you're going to have it for. So let's say I want to run for 3 hours, I could then do that. We also get the display showing up down here as well as we're setting all of this. Of course, you can change the humidity level at any time, as I showed, but that's pretty much it. The other main thing I did want to show with this is on the back, you actually have a drain cap here. So this includes a hose. You basically get, I think this is probably like 2 or 3 feet of hose, not super long, but you can actually connect this to this nozzle here, and any of the humidity that's being collected will just come right out the drain. I'm gonna go ahead and power it off for now, but essentially what'll happen is it'll collect all of that water and then put it right through this hose. In our case, we actually have
a French drain system connected to a sump pump in our basement. So most likely what I'll end up doing is when I put this down in the basement, I'll just connect the hose and then run this right into that sump pump. So once the sump pump fills, hits the trigger mark, it'll just pump that water right outside. So this is going to be the most simple, easiest way to pretty much keep this running. The other solution would be is if you don't have that sump pump, you actually have a basin up here in the front. So this will kind of come out here, and there's also another cap here as well if need be, but this basically will fill with water, and then you can simply just turn this over and dump it. You do also have a nice carry handle here, so you can easily pick this up and dump it. This isn't particularly massive in terms of the storage for holding the water, but it still will hold quite a bit of water that it's enough that you should be able to run this, I would say at least, you know, my guess, depending on the amount of humidity you're dealing with, a solid like 7 to 10 hours. That's usually pretty typical. So it most likely would be something, unless you're dealing with a lot of humidity, it might be like emptying it possibly about once a day with something like this. So that just snaps back in. Another thing I thought I would share, and I'm only going to share this because I have the ability to do it, is we have a special electric panel actually in our house. And that electric panel allows me to measure how much energy usage that we're actually using. So I'm actually going to pull up an application here just because I want to show you how much energy it's actually using when this is on. And I can give you an exact, pretty rough idea as to what to expect. So this is something that I noticed when I was using another one of our units. We really didn't have, you know, it was using a lot of power basically. So here's kind of a breakdown of our house right now. The current number that our house is using is about, I don't know why the camera's not coming in, but it's 3,367 watts. So an easy way for me to be able to distinguish this is currently my garage is using about 1,200 watts. So I'll let this sit for about a second and we can kind of use this as a measure. So that's pretty much chilling right at that amount, right? Nothing else is draining the power much more than that. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on, and that's where this is currently plugged in. And we're gonna keep it on the continuous mode. So this should ultimately kick up a little bit as it stays on. And I'll even put it on high so that way we know it's like really utilizing. And as you can see, we're still sitting at about 1,200. So this isn't really using a ton more energy to run. It looks like it's only gone up maybe 50 watts. I'm assuming it's actually going to take up a little bit more than this over time, but ultimately this is something that seems to be pretty efficient. Like there you can see the unit just kicked on. Let's see if it comes up at all. Yeah, so there it came up about 250 watts or so. So that's about usage as to what you'd expect. Another unit I had was probably sitting more around the 400 or 500 watt mark. So this is actually pretty efficient. It's about 50% less than like a competing unit that I was using. So anyway, hope that gives you some idea of what to expect with electric usage. But thanks for watching, and I hope you found this video review helpful. Hey, what's going on guys? John here. Today I wanted to do a video review for the Puro Oxygen air filter. So in this video, I'll just kind of walk you through some of the features of this. I'll talk a little bit about the setup, and we'll really just go through everything. So first off, starting with the setup of this, it was very easy. Once you unpackage this, the actual back piece here will pretty much slide right off. You have to flip it around to the back, and this will basically pop off, and you have a large filter here that sits through the back. You could see here it's extremely thick, so more or less you have a fan, and then this filter is what's actually filtering all of the dust and anything else. When you want to put this back, you simply just slide it into place, and you have these little ribbon pieces here that you can pull out. Again, if this gets dirty over time, you can always replace these, and it's pretty simple. You just snap this back in, which you could see I was even able to do with one hand. The main fan piece here is basically bringing in all the air through the top. You do have the Puro Oxygen labeling here on the side. And then in terms of functionality, this does have an LED display, so it kind of gives you a readout of the air quality. So right now we're sitting at about a 17, and you can see it's green, so that basically indicates that we have very clean, very good air quality. We do have cats, so let's just say we put like a cat litter thing near here, or put it near that. This would go up significantly, and most likely this would turn to red or yellow depending on the quality of the air. You can choose to lock the screen up here at the top left. You have a timer, so maybe you only want to run this for a specific amount of time. You have your main power button here, and then you have your speed. So this actually, you can see, goes up 2, 3,
and then back to 1. So you basically have a few different speeds as well as an automatic mode. So typically I just leave it at 1. If you don't want the LEDs, maybe you have this in a bedroom, you can actually hit sleep and that will turn off the LED indicator. But usually I just leave it on because we have this here in the corner of the wall in our basement. So it's not really a big deal. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this, this filter. I had an older one here that was just kind of getting old, and we wanted something with the LED display because I had another one that was similar in another part of our house, and it just gives you a better idea of the quality of air and what's actually happening. So I thought this would be a nice little addition for our basement, and so far so good. Very happy with this, and I think if you're looking for a nice, simple, high-quality air filtration system, this definitely would be a good bet. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you found this helpful. Hey, what's going on, guys? John here, and today I just wanted to walk you through the Hoover Clean Slate. In this video, I won't be doing a demo of this, but I did want to walk you through kind of how it works and just give you some idea of what to expect. So this is actually a device that's designed to clean fabric surfaces. So let's just say you have a fabric couch and maybe you have a pet and they have an accident. Maybe they throw up on the couch, and you know that you want to do something that's really going to make sure that that stain is going to get actually cleaned up. This is the device that you're actually going to want to use to do that. So this has basically a solution tank here on the back that you fill with their solution, and then on the top here you basically have a hose rinse tool. So this allows you to actually rinse out the hose itself. This is your main power button for the device. You have a reel here on the side that you can use for the actual power, so pretty convenient. And then this actually is fairly easy to maneuver around. You have a nice large carry handle here on the top, and you've also got your tank release here in the front. So essentially all of your dirty water is going to build up in this front area here. More or less, you're putting your cleaning solution in the back, and then this is funneling through the system, and this has a long tube hose that basically comes through a brush. So the idea with this is that you'll make sort of slow passes. The brush here comes off, but the cleaning solution comes right through into the bristles, and all of this gets sucked with the vacuum. So it's kind of working almost as like a vacuum with the solution all at the same time. So it's going to be extremely efficient for cleaning this stuff up. We actually have this very large fabric couch here as an example, and we recently just went through a cleaning where we cleaned like all the covers on like through the laundry, but the bottom, obviously you can't really do anything with that if it gets dirty. We recently had, unfortunately, like a major flood in our city back in September, and what ended up happening is we had 6 inches of water in the basement. So one of the reasons we got this was so that we could clean all the fabric around the base, and that would just make sure that any of that mucky water that came in would be completely clean and we wouldn't have any issues with that. It's also really good, again, for things like pet stains, or maybe your child has like a spill. This would be really good for cleaning that, and it's going to really provide a nice way to clean that fabric that you otherwise wouldn't have. Anyway, thanks for watching, and hopefully you found this video review helpful. Hey, what's going on, guys? John here. Today I'm actually going to be doing a video review for the HP DeskJet. This is the 2855E. Now, the reason I actually got this is I actually have a fairly large, almost like commercial, like business-orientated Canon printer that I use for black and white printing, but I wanted something specifically for color, but I didn't want to like go nuts breaking the bank on it. So one of the reasons I got this was that with HP you actually get up to 3 months of ink if you sign up for one of their programs with this. So this really allowed me to get some extra ink and have a very capable printer of being able to do color. So you have mainly all of your options here on the left. This is the power button. You have cancel, like loading. This is the Wi-Fi info, basically black and white as well as color. This just gives like a little sticker here in the top. This you can do scanning here on the top, and then you have your paper loader here up on the back. This can be extended down as well. You also have a piece here that you can adjust up, and then you can adjust this piece here if you want to load different size paper. one of the main reasons I got this is I have something where I go out and typically I'll help businesses with like these little review pamphlets. So I wanted this to be able to print out these little color QR codes. So this essentially allows me to print this in full color and then put them in these nice acrylic stands. So I have another example of one here I'm going to print in black and white in a moment. But I thought I would just show you some idea of what to expect with setup. You pretty much have a door that comes out here at the top. So it's pretty easy. This basically pops out. I actually just need to reach it here. There's a little clasp, and basically your ink sits in these two little containers. So it comes with both the color and black cartridge. Those just simply pop in and then you just replace as needed. Once you are done with that, you simply put the door back up, and this is basically now ready to go. You have an extender here that actually slides out when the paper comes out. That way it's not like falling off of this. And yeah, it's a very, very simple to set up printer. I was able to use their mobile app, register an account, and basically set this up within probably about 5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and do a print demo here and send this to the printer. I have it completely connected via Wi-Fi right now. So one of the nice conveniences is if you want to put this in a remote location, you could actually do that and print from like a distance. You know, you don't have to necessarily have this sitting right next to your computer, which is one of the other reasons I got this. So this is now printing black and white. I would say it goes fairly quickly. You can see this one here. This is basically like a 5x7 printout, and I may actually have to reload this because I think it was a setting on my I think it was actually a setting on my, it's not the printer, it's just a setting of how I actually told it to print. So I'm going to do another print here as an example for you guys, because that obviously was not good. So menu, print, and I'm just going to do fit, and we'll do another example here. So I just sent that one to the printer as a second example. And again, you can flip this out, which I think is kind of nice, and that way you can, paper isn't going to just fly out on you. So again, this isn't going to be something if you're like speeding through a lot of printing, like you need like lots and lots of documents, but if you're just looking for a basic home printer, I think this is definitely going to be a good bet. It's not also even that big in terms of size, so I've been very happy with it so far. So here's a second example. This is obviously a blown up version of that, but came out pretty clear. I like the fact that you know, you can print fairly quickly, but it's not going to be like crazy fast. Again, if you're doing like massive amounts of documents, but if you're just printing a few things here and there, this is definitely going to fit the bill. And so far, I've been very happy with it, and no issues so far. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found this helpful. Hey, what's going on, guys? John here, and today I wanted to do a video review for this under-desk space heater. So this is basically a portable space heater that's designed to be used pretty much underneath a desk area. It's actually a really cool invention and something that I had never even really considered, but when I saw this, I knew this was absolutely going to be something I wanted to use and would be using all of the time. The idea of this is that you actually have a heated pad down in the center of this, and it's completely confined, so all of the heat kind of stays within this little section here. There's actually a magnetized piece here that you can unclip this through the center. The magnet's actually pretty good on this, so this comes apart, allowing you to put your feet into here. So I would normally just bring my feet through, and then I would go back, and I can now clasp this back together. It's a little tough to do here with one hand, but I'm going to move my feet back out of it, and I'll put this back together for you. So there you can see it clips back together due to the magnet design. When you power this on, you just have to hold it down. This basically has 5 different power levels, so you can see right now it's on P5. So if I hit the button here, it allows me to either change the scheduling, so I can do 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, 2 hours, and then, you know, just leave that. Once this finishes its scheduling option, you can hit the main power button and flip between all of the different power modes. So basically P1 is your lowest heat setting and P5 would be the highest. This only uses about 170 watts, which is actually fairly low for a portable heater. Most small space heaters typically run between 1,000 and 1,500 watts. So if you're really just looking for something that's going to help you for heat for like a very small area, you know, to help you stay warm under your desk, this is a really good bet. This is actually a finished garage area that the prior owners had done. And when they did this space, they didn't lay anything down beneath the vinyl floor. So it's pretty much just vinyl floor laying right on top of concrete. So it gets extremely cold in here. Even though I ended up adding heat both through a mini split and baseboard heating, the floor itself gets extremely cold. So I decided to get this, and this has actually been working perfectly to kind of counteract what I'm normally dealing with. You do also have a shroud here that you can remove up on the top, and typically it's very easy to put your legs right into here. I can already feel the heat kicking up. You can see I can kind of just sit right in, and the whole pad on the bottom heats up, and since you kind of put your legs in, it's really easy to get the heat going. The other thing with this that I really like is it kind of forces you to actually stay in really good posture because you can't really move a whole lot. So that's another thing that I think is actually a positive benefit of this. But overall, works extremely well for its intended purpose, and so far I'm very happy with it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video review.
Loving the addition of a versatile desk in the corner of our room. Whether I choose to use this monitor stand or not, the smooth finish on this laminate wood is wipeable and scratch resistant for durability. In person, this fiberboard appears a medium walnut tone, and the graining is visible on the desktop as well as the monitor stand and the shelves. There's metal to brace it, and this is completely removable. So if you want the monitor stand on top, fine, and you can simply pick it up to remove it. The two shelves are also quite handy, and I did install this as the shelves on the left, but you can also put them on the right. The monitor stand and main desk area are approximately 35 inches, and the total desk, including the extension, is approximately 46, and under the monitor, it is approximately 3 inches height. Height in the shelf is approximately 11 inches and the width approximately 10. And that removable shelf does have these pads to protect the wood, whether it's on top or moved apart. It does arrive flat packed with pictorial instructions, and all of the wood and metal pieces combined via screws. Following step-by-step, first attach the side pieces to the base, building the main frame. Wood is the stabilizing factor there. Then you will go build the side shelves on the side using the same process. It can go left or right. Then attaching all of the wood together, including this main top. It all attaches the same, and there is padding to protect the furniture. Overall, modern meets farmhouse meets traditional. This desk functions in a variety of places, completely flexible, completely adjustable. Thanks to the seller for sending this over. Thrilled to have a new desk for work and for